Hey everyone, welcome. My name is Terry Work, and today I'm going to show you how to incorporate Gen AI into compliance. Have you ever worked in an organization where compliance policies felt like a complete mystery? You might find them eventually, but then you're left wondering, how do we even measure if we're following these rules? And how do we even collect evidence against them? Today I'm going to show you exactly that. I'm going to go through how to use the power of AI to break down complex policies, making them more effective, efficient, and most importantly, auditable. Here's how we can break down policies to be more effective and efficient. We can follow these 5 basic steps of importing a compliance document, extracting the controls using Gen AI, strengthening the controls also using Gen AI, simulate the evidence collection, and then run a full audit. And let's go through an example to see how it's done. Let's run through an example. So in Kaggle, you can easily create a notebook, or since I've already worked on one, I will just pull it up. And in the settings, you can easily just go through your typical browser, or you can use an accelerator, and we'll just use GPU T4x2 to go a little faster, right? So then we'll just click Run All, and we'll just walk through this as it runs. So here you can see we're importing the packages necessary for the program to run. A lot of it is all Python. Here you can see Kaggle secrets, as well as using the Google generative API. And for the Google secrets, you can easily go right to the Google AI Studio to not only get your API key, but to also help you build the definitions and functions for the program itself. So you can see we're going to load the compliance document. And again, we're going to mock it up for now, but you can usually import it using Python through, and build your own function, to grab the data from a text document, PDF, HTML, whatever you need imported. You can see there's the output, a sample of it. Next, step 2, we'll extract controls using Gen AI. So here we're going to build an extraction prompt for the AI itself, telling it that you are an expert in compliance to extract these key compliance controls from the following policy. If there are, let's say, 12 requirements, there should be 12 controls, right? One for one. That's an example. And then you're also telling Gen AI to list the controls as a JSON structure. So it's easy to manipulate and read in through other functions and dashboards later on down the line. Next, you can have a function to extract those controls using Gen AI. Here it makes a call to the Gemini 1.5 Flash API. And you see the code there. Again, you can have the Google AI Studio create a lot of this code for you. You may have to tweak it here and there, but it can do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. And you can see the extracted controls. They're nicely structured, 1 through 12, in a JSON format. And it's getting more structured, like enforce minimum policy or password length of 12 characters, and so forth. So it is getting more structured. But we want to strengthen it a little bit more, right? So step 3 is strengthening that policy using Gen AI. And here, we want to be a little more precise, where we're telling Gen AI to be an expert in compliance policy creation, but then construct that policy to be more specific, measurable, and enforceable. And so again, here's more code, another definition or function to strengthen the policy with Gen AI. Again, Google AI Studio can do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. And here's where it gets more precise, right? So here's the strengthened policy. Minimum character length, 16 characters. Here you can see the character types. It's getting more specific, right? These are things that you can actually measure. It's taking a vague policy, breaking it down, into more concrete parts that can be easily enforceable where you can collect evidence. That brings us to our next point, step 4, simulate evidence collection. Here we're just mocking up the evidence check. In reality, you would have Python functions call out the various parts of other systems within your organization to collect that evidence, which would be more heavy lifting than actually stubbing it out like this. But this is just an example, right? If I can collect that evidence, with the results being captured in the ID, description, the evidence required, status, simple pass or fail, depending upon the criteria that you're using, and notes. And here you can see an example, right? So for the first control, enforce a minimum password length of 16 characters. You could have a function that goes out into a random, sample of accounts to verify the password length. Here you can see it shows a status of pass, right? So each control can be effectively measured using this approach. And then lastly, right, if you have one policy document that might have 100 controls to it, you want that in a nice summary, right, for management or for others to see. So you want to run a full audit. And here is basically summarizing all the controls that have passed, failed, and then your compliance rate. So what is the passing rate of all the compliance controls, right? And you can see now that summary, how many passed, how many failed. You can see 12 total, 8 passed, 4 failed, 66% success rate. And there it is in JSON summary format. So the JSON format can be used in a lot of dashboards, right? To read in the results. And it's really as simple as that. Now let's go back and conclude what we've learned. Thanks. Now, imagine you have hundreds of policies across your organization. Manually auditing all of those would be a nightmare. With this AI-powered system, you can easily run quarterly audits with confidence without a ton of manual effort. This translates to significant time and savings, the reduced risk of non-compliance, and improved overall governance. So that's how you can use AI to revolutionize your compliance process. By automating the key steps, you can make your policies more effective, measurable, and auditable. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe for more AI insights. Let me know in your comments and what other AI applications you'd like to see covered. See you next time. Thank you.